And welcome back. It's been a while since we last looked at the diet of our favorite boy, Deku. But there are a lot more students left that we have to discuss. Because just like Deku, they too have diets that they need to adhere to day in, day out to perform optimally. Therefore today, we will be looking at 3 different students from class 1A and see what diets they are eating and how they are affecting them. So today, we will be looking at Iida, Katsuki Bakugou and Ochako Uraraka. So for their meals, we will be looking at the 3 different meals of the day: breakfast, lunch and dinner, and look to what it is that they need in order to perform optimally. So for this video, I accounted for all of their normal macronutrients and character quirks in order to make the perfect dishes for them. For Iida, we will be focusing on fast carbohydrates. For Bakugou, we will be focusing on his nitroglycerin, or the closest thing we can find in food, nitric oxide. And for Ochako, after a long day of training, we have found a remedy for her motion sickness, which is probably the heaviest burden she experiences due to her quirk. So there's actually a big scientific basis for how Iida's quirk works, but here's a short summary of it. So Iida's quirk is actually pretty simple to explain. Iida uses specifically orange juice, but probably other carbohydrates as well, to power the engines in his calves to make him run incredibly fast. How this works on a molecular level is up for debate, but here's my best guess. The energy from the orange juice is recognized by a biological receptor in Iida's body. This receptor will then produce hormones that allow for the digestive tract in his body to become thinner, meaning that the orange juice can pass from one area to another. So why does the body do this? Easy, so that the body can easily distinguish the different foods from the orange juice that he's drinking as well. Then, through the process of cellular respiration, the energy in his food is converted into energy that can be used by the body's cells. During cellular respiration, glucose and oxygen are converted into carbon dioxide and water, and the energy is transferred into ATP, which can be used directly for energy by the muscles. Iida runs a lot, trains a lot, and is probably a very hard-working student. Therefore, he needs a lot of energy, and we can kind of guess what other foods he would definitely enjoy because he is mostly running on orange juice. Though I have to say, boys, I am not 100% sure as to what fuel he would prefer. Maybe ketones would be better for Iida in the long run, but on the short term we are going for high carbs, and maybe in the future I will make another video to see if a keto diet would also be appropriate. So first of all, orange juice. It is literally the lifeblood of Iida's diet, and he needs it in order to perform optimally. It is very high in refined sugar and will deliver a lot of energy very quickly. Of course, we will avoid extra sugar as they are unnecessary in any type of diet, and he just needs to get that natural orange juice as quickly as possible. Next up, pancakes. And you might be thinking right now, pancakes are extremely unhealthy, aren't they? And no, not necessarily. No food is inherently unhealthy. It all just really depends on what your overall diet looks like. If your overall diet is healthy, there's no worries about eating pancakes once or twice a week. And especially if you are exercising, because your muscles can definitely use that extra boost of energy and glucose from the pancakes. And even still, you can definitely make healthier pancakes than those pre-packaged pancakes from the grocery store. There are actually a lot of ways of making those pancakes without needing those refined carbohydrates all that much. These are a couple of examples of some of them, but unfortunately for this discussion we don't even need to discuss those because Iida definitely needs those refined carbs. But in order to determine the type of pancake and the toppings, we need to look at his blood type, because blood types are very important in Japan. They are kind of like our astrology. They determine everything from a person, from what they should eat, from what they shouldn't eat, and everything around that. Iida is blood type A, therefore he needs to focus on fruits and vegetables and needs to avoid meat. And especially he needs to eat pineapple. Because of this, I found this recipe on pineapple pancakes that look delicious, but they just need one topping, because who eats blank pancakes? That's why for the topping of his pancakes we will use Ingenium logos, and they look so incredibly sick. Katsuki Bakugou. Quirk. Explosion. Power. Katsuki's quirk allows him to secrete nitroglycerin-like sweat from the palms of his hands and ignite it on command, allowing him to create strong explosions. The more Katsuki sweats, the stronger his explosions become. So then of course for lunch I wanted to focus on 2 things, nitroglycerin and sweat. And of course the reason is that both of these things are essential for Bakugou if he really wants to use his quirk effectively. When somebody takes nitroglycerin as a medicine, the body transforms it into nitric acid, a substance that relaxes your blood vessels and expands them. So more blood can flow through bigger vessels, just like a very big pipe. Now, simply put, a heart attack is the lack of oxygen or blood to the heart muscle, and when you take nitroglycerin, more blood reaches the heart and heart attacks are prevented. Unfortunately, nitroglycerin isn't really available in any food, so we have to take the next closest thing that we have available, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that's produced naturally naturally by your body, and it's important for many aspects of your health. Its most important function is vasodilation, meaning it relaxes the inner muscles of your blood vessels and causing them to widen and increase circulation, just like nitroglycerin. The literature on nitric oxide as a supplement is still very young, so unfortunately we can't draw any conclusions yet on whether you should take it or not. But that doesn't mean that eating a normal and healthy amount of nitric oxide within your food is unhealthy, because it definitely isn't. It is very healthy actually. It is speculated that nitric oxide can really help us with our muscle endurance, and that eating more nitric oxide in your diet can really help you to reach more reps until you reach failure. So, a dinner that gives both nitric oxide and allows the individual to produce more sweat. And we're gonna start with the latter because Bakugou is a very big fan of spicy food. This little fact is found in his character bio, and the main reason for sweating while eating spicy food is capsaicin. This component within spicy food fools your body into thinking it's hot, triggering your body to sweat in order to cool you down. However, as you are not actually in a high temperature environment, your sweat will take longer to evaporate, making you feel sweaty. So whatever his lunch is, it has to be spicy, and also a very cool character detail. Now, onto what foods contain nitric oxide. So beets, garlic, meat, dark chocolate, leafy greens and nuts and seeds all contain a great amount of nitric oxide. So I searched and found this, which I really like: spiced beets with firecracker chicken on a bed of rice. And for dessert, pomegranate and dark chocolate to get even more nitric oxide in. And you can probably guess why the pomegranate. This meal in total contains about 1200 calories and is a really good meal to have between workouts with protein, carbs, both faster and slower. Then on to dinner with one of the best girls in the entire show, Ochako Uraraka. Quirk, gravity, power. Uraraka's quirk gives her the power to manipulate gravity, such as making objects weightless or making objects float. With this quirk she is also able to fly, though this ability is very limited. After a hard day of training, every student at UA is bound to have some muscle aches or soreness or something that just feels horrible. But for Ochako this is a totally different story, because in addition to her normal muscle aches, pain, etc., she also experienced something that no one else at UA experiences: motion sickness. Therefore, it is very important that she has something for dinner that can really help her with her motion sickness. Because of this character trait, I have scoured the internet and found something that can really help her with her motion sickness that also fits her blood type and everything else in her personality. Ochako has blood type B, and those with blood type B should pick a diverse diet including meat, fruit, dairy, seafood and grains. To lose weight, type B individuals should choose green vegetables, eggs, liver and licorice. Regarding Ochako, it doesn't really matter if Ochako is your wife or not. Other students have described Ochako as the most laid-back girl among her class, being very bubbly and kind of an air at times. She is often incredibly blunt without being aware of it. Therefore she needs a very nice dish to end her day and a sweet dessert once her motion sickness is cleared up, of course. Oh, and in her character bio it says that she loves Japanese food, especially mochi, plus she enjoys the night sky. So, for foods that deal with motion sickness: ginger, water and clear beverages, cold foods, broths, banana, applesauce, protein-rich meals and herbal tea. If you have been on Reddit enough, you've probably come across this advice, that if you want to eat cheap, you should just focus on eating eggs and rice, which are also very cheap and contain everything that you need from carbs to protein. And is one of the tastiest ways to eat cheap. Which is nice, because not only does Uraraka really love Japanese food, she also isn't from a very privileged background. And that is why we need to look into the cost of the meal that we serve her. So we won't make it too expensive and we'll make it traditionally Japanese. And the dish for her is going to be okiadon, which is a Japanese chicken and egg rice bowl, plus herbal tea against the sickness and mochi for when she feels better. Honestly, this meal is perfect for Ochako, just some warm or even cold food to help her relax for not that high of a price. This meal contains about 900 calories and you can see all the macros right over here, just like any other meals, which you can also find down in the description. And that was it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel, as I love making these videos and I just want to share them with more people across the entire globe that are also fan of anime and science and see what we can do for any individual character. These videos are very fun to make. If you want to see more of these, please let me know in the comments down below and what characters you want to see next. They don't of course have to be from Boku no Hero Academia, they can be from anything that you want to see. Okay guys, thank you once again so much and I will see you in the next one. Bye.